What not to do when you're teaching dance class. I've made so many mistakes in my life as a dance teacher when I first started that I'm doing this video to help you not make those mistakes. So, example one, don't show your frustration towards the kids if they're not getting a dance step. I've had plenty of times where I teach a dance step, I'd show them how to do it, and they still weren't getting it, and I took it personally. And I would get really frustrated, and I'd show it in my face and in my voice. So try not to do that. The idea is to manage your frustration. If you feel like you're getting tight and gripped and really frustrated towards kids because they're not executing the step right, take a deep breath, go somewhere where you can't, they can't see your face. Take a deep breath, turn around and just, just say, okay, let's take a step back. Let's start all over. We're not getting the step. Why? Let's talk about it. Really involve them in the conversation and help them help you figure out how everybody can get the dance step. I've had that plenty of times, and in the end, I felt better about myself because I took that step and I felt like a more effective teacher. So that's example one. Number two, don't yell at a child. I have yelled at children so many times when I first started teaching. And I remember every time I did it, I didn't feel right about it. I knew it was wrong, and I just didn't know how to calm a child down, keep a child from misbehaving in my class or a group of children without yelling. There's plenty of ways to do it. If you have a group of kids that are chatting, talking, all you got to do is give them a rhythm clap. It works every time. You save your voice, number one, right? So you could just go, right? And do it over and over again until they get it. Another thing you can do, and it's a good thing to start this when you first start teaching, establish that every time they hear a rhythm or your voice that they need to focus back on you. Another thing you can do is, if you're dealing with younger guys, you could give them a rhythm clap. Once you feel like people are gauging, and if people are still not, completely focused to you, you can say, Johnny hears my voice, he's standing tall. So really congratulate the kids that are listening to you, and somehow magically the other kids start to pay attention. So those are ways, not only you save your voice, but you gain the respect of the students, and you're able to keep your kids under control when they lose a little bit of chaos. So that's how I handle that. Number three, don't kick a kid out of your class. I got fired for this one. I was 9 months pregnant when I did this, but granted, pregnant or not pregnant, don't kick a kid out of your class. You don't know what's going on in their home life. You don't know what's going on. They may have a disability. Who knows? But the goal is, don't put them on the spot like that. What you want to do, what I did is there was a kid. He was so hyper energetic that over and over again I'd tell him, be quiet, stop, quiet, and it didn't work. So I said, get out of my class in front of the whole class. And I said, go call your mother. Whew. After that, I think I mentioned it in one of my journals, she came at me with fist and palm, and I was in trouble, and I pretty much got fired after that. So I learned my lesson from that. That was a hard lesson to learn. I don't want you to do that. So if you have a child that's constantly misbehaving, what you need to do is this. Have them sit down by the mirror and just say, you're going to sit down for a while and calm down. And if you're ready, you can join back, but I want you to stay seated. Just isolate him in one section. Once you're done teaching a class, then go talk to the parent and say, okay, here's the situation. Then you do it in a very positive manner. You don't exactly put him on the spot, but you put him on the spot with his mother in a private meeting. So that's how I handle that. That's a heavy one. Okay. Let's talk about not putting children down. I actually hadn't done this one, but I did have a fellow teacher who told me that, and he thought he did it the right way, and in my mind I thought, that's not a good idea. When you are teaching a class and a child is not doing something right, don't say, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong, and then say, see this student over here? Don't highlight another student to make them feel even worse about themselves by saying, oh, you see Susie? She does it perfectly. She does this great. So the idea is, yes, you want to use other children to model how you want them to do a step or act when they're doing a dance step, but you don't want to put them in a negative mindset in the process. So the idea is use a positive example, but leave out any negative energy by telling that person what they're doing wrong, and also in front of the class. So that's a big no-no. All right, one more. Don't be vague. I tended to, when I was younger, like I'm younger, like I'm that old. When I was used to teach, I'm thinking a lot in my brain, and I would think, I expected kids to read my mind. Don't be vague and say, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do that tendu. Be very clear. That's what being a dance teacher is all about. If you want them to do something across the floor, so you're going to do a gallop across the floor. Be very precise, because some of the kids, it doesn't really click in their brain, and they need to know step by step what they need to do in class. And sometimes I would show my frustration because they weren't able to read my mind, or they weren't moving as fast as I wanted to be. So that's how it is. Take one step at a time. Really be clear about what your direction is for them, and then you'll get a good response from the kids. So those are 5 examples. If you have any examples of your own, I'd love to hear about them if you want to write about it and send it my way on my blog.